Ask anybody about the Great War, and I guess it won't be long before the Battle of the Somme raises its head. In fact, it's probably safe to say that July the 1st, today's date of course, back in 1916, setting aside the opening and closing dates of World War I, is probably the biggest in the public perception, the most significant date of the whole 4 years of the war. And by this time, of course, the fighting, which many had expected to be all over by Christmas in 1914, had actually been going on for nearly 2 years, and had actually stagnated into the war of attrition that came to be known as trench warfare. The Allies had decided the time had come for a large-scale offensive against the enemy. The time had come for the big push. And so, at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday, the 1st of July, 1916, following an artillery bombardment which had lasted for 7 whole days, the whistles blew. And 100,000 British soldiers launched their attack on the German positions. And it was believed at the time these positions should really have been obliterated by the bombardment of the previous week. Enough, one might think, to ensure that the date became memorable. But it was the unexpected outcome that actually made it so. On that day, almost 20,000 British soldiers were killed, and another 38,000 were wounded, missing, or captured. The British Army's blackest ever day. But the 1st of July was only the beginning of the battle. It was to continue all the way through until the 18th of November of that year, by which time the Allies had advanced a whole 7 miles. There had been 420,000 British casualties, 60,000 killed for each mile of ground that had been gained. The battle was a tragedy, no doubt about that, but it's actually now considered to have been an essential and important step towards ultimate victory. So tonight, we're remembering not only the centenary of the 1st of July 1916, a black day for the British and the muddy grave for the German army, but also those of all nations who gave their lives during the Great War. It is, however, not just a night for sadness and reflection, but also a celebration and thanksgiving for those who actually survived the war. It was heralded as the war to end all wars, and we all know that this proved to be totally wrong in 1939. The lessons so dearly learned in 1914 were to contribute greatly to the successful outcome of World War II. And yet still, the dominant feeling tonight will be that of the futility of war and the tremendous sacrifices which all wars demand, but none more so than the Great War. So, was it all worthwhile? Well, I guess all of us in the room tonight will have our own personal views on that particular question. But we must remember all those who fought and died in the cause of freedom. So let us reflect, while we listen tonight, reflect on the estimated 11 million military and 7 million civilians who died on both sides of the conflict, and pray once again that we shall never see the likes again in our lifetime.
My dear boyfriend Arthur joined the Liverpool Pals in 1914 and fought in France during the Battle of the Somme. I wrote to him as often as I could, but had only one of those letters left. It was sent back to me when Arthur was killed on the 30th of July 1916 at a place called Guillemot. My letter was in his pocket when they found his body and was sent home to me still in the envelope which was stained with his blood. I have it here, and when I read it, there are so many things that I wish I had told him. Please listen to it. 21st of July, 1916. My dearest Arthur, at last I have a letter from you, but it was dated the 26th of June, so it was taken almost a month to reach Liverpool. When I received it this morning, I thought to myself, now he's going to tell me all about these last big battles and everything. Imagine my disappointment when I found that it was a delayed letter. Oh well, Arthur, I have a beautiful, long, full of newsletters to look forward to, I hope, as soon as you're able to write. You have no idea how thankful I am that you are safe. Even the field postcards, though brief, are comforting. According to the papers, the fighting has been terrific, and the chief ones concerned in it are the Pals. You'll understand how anxious I have been about you, Arthur, and with what eagerness I peruse the papers for any sign of your name. I thank God that your name has not appeared amongst any who have fallen or are wounded. I feel so helpless and useless, sometimes, Arthur, when I realise that I cannot do anything to help you. I know you look forward to my letters, but then that is nothing. I should like to take an active part. And if I can do anything for you, dear Arthur, please tell me, and I will willingly do it. I am hoping, dear Arthur, that after these battles, you will be able to come home on leave. I will pray about it, and then perhaps you will come. While you're away, the most important things I do are eat, work, and go on walks. Not very charming, is it? But it might be if a particular person that I care for was going on these walks with me. Today I'm working at Moorfields. Do you remember when you used to come and take me home from there, Arthur, and the little quarrels we used to have along the way? I laugh over it sometimes, but I don't suppose you have much time to meditate on these sorts of things. I'm sorry to say that my grandma has been very ill, but she's mending and she wishes me to send her love to you. With this I must close, Arthur. It's very late and I must go to bed. Goodbye, dear, and God be with you till we meet again. I am your loving sweetheart, Sissy. Goodbye, my darling. One day we will meet again.
It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square.
like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags. We cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshot. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of gas shells dropping softly behind. Gas, gas, quick boys! An ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time. But someone still was yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea, I saw him drowning. In all my dreams, before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face, like a devil sick of sin, if you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues, my friend, you wouldn't tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori.
My name is Isaac Rhys-Evans from Glamorgan, South Wales, where I was a coal miner. I served with the Royal Welsh Fusiliers for 7 years until December 1915, when I finished my service. In 1916, I answered a call for miners to volunteer to serve with the tunnelling companies in the Royal Engineers. It was believed that we could fight the Germans from underground, blowing up their positions. I then served with the 254th Tunnelling Company, most of whose members were coal miners from Nottingham, the North East, and Wales. We were known as clay kickers. Amongst my comrades were two men whom I got to know particularly well, Tommy Collins from Swansea and Billy Hackett from Nottingham. We often worked together underground digging tunnels which we could fill with explosives and then detonate under the Germans at the right time. You might not believe it, but the Germans were doing exactly the same. Sometimes, almost in the same tunnel, we could hear them, and I'm sure they could hear us. Sometimes they would break through into our tunnel, either accidentally or deliberately, and we would finish up fighting each other with anything we could lay our hands on. Tommy Collins was a young man like me, but Billy was old enough to be my dad. He'd been turned down several times for the infantry because they said he was too old. When they were desperate for miners, however, they decided that despite his age, and he was 42 years old when he enlisted, and what they said was his faulty heart, he was fit enough to join up. Billy had left school in Wales when he was only 12 years old and had not learned to read or write. I used to write his letters home to his wife for him. I remember having to read to him that his 14-year-old son, Arthur, who had gone to work down the pit when he left school, had been injured in an underground accident and the doctor had amputated his right leg. Billy was so upset, especially because his work in the tunnels was so important, he couldn't have any home leave. On the 22nd of June 1916, I was with them digging near Givenchy when the Germans set a mine off close to our tunnel, causing it to collapse. I was lucky and got out. Billy, Tommy, and 3 more of our mates were trapped inside. Still, they managed to dig their way out to the surface. It took them 20 hours, and all except Tommy Collins got out alive. Tommy was badly injured, and they couldn't get him through the small escape hole they'd dug. So Billy Hackett went back into the tunnel to keep Tommy company till he could be got out. While they were in there, the gallery collapsed, and they were almost buried alive. For 3 days, we tried to dig them out, but the whole situation became more and more dangerous, and eventually it was decided it was too dangerous to get them out. And in any case, they were almost certainly dead. So we sealed up the tunnel and we left them. Old Billy could have got out many times before that gallery collapsed, but he wouldn't leave Tommy by himself to die. Billy was a tunneler. He saw it as his duty to stay with his wounded mate as long as he needed to. I don't think many of us would have been as brave as old Billy. he gave his own life to help his mate. Yes, the hierarchy noted his bravery. They awarded him a posthumous Victoria Cross, but I had the job of writing to his wife Gladys to tell her what had happened. I told her how popular he was with his comrades and how incredibly brave he was to die as he did. I hope it helped her, but I was really telling her that she would have to bring up the 3 children by herself, and they would never see Billy again. I will never forget him. Oh, you might be interested to know what happened to me. Well, I did quite well and was promoted to corporal. I had a narrow escape when I was shot in the hand in 1917, but I got over it. But when the Germans launched their last big throw of the dice attack in March 1918, I was one of those who were gassed in the trenches. And I died on 13th March 1918.
Fron.
Occasionally, during the Battle of the Somme, the Allies had the upper hand. This next letter was written by Lieutenant Cyril Kathryn of the Durham Light Infantry. It was written to his wife Rosalind on the 25th of September 1916. And it relates to one such episode during the Battle of the Flers and Courcelette. But even then, death could be close at hand.
25th of September, 1916. My darling, surely truth is stranger than fiction. I last night had a most excellent sleep in no man's land. During a fairly heavy bombardment, such as is practically continuous in this, the greatest battle of the war. I am pleased to say that I got the whole company back without a single casualty. As a matter of fact, up to the present, my company, proverbial for their luck in the battalion, have had only 15 casualties, whereas other companies have lost at least 50% of their men. Since it has been stated in the papers, there is no harm in my telling you that we were in the great attack on the 15th, the Battle of Flers-Courcelette. Our artillery simply blew the Germans to bits, and naturally their artillery, which is both powerful and very efficient, was not at all pleasant. There is very little to say about this big show, except the artillery was awful, and the flies are worse, whilst living conditions are worse still. All the same, we are exceptionally cheerful. We bear everything, I hope, like good soldiers. Proud to have beaten the reputedly invincible German army. The men are absolutely wonderful. My company is in the best of spirits. Well, I think I've given you some idea of what it's like out here. Men live and die like heroes, and face with the greatest of courage that which no men ought to be called upon to face. I can say no more. The 30th of September, 1916, he wrote again. I am writing to tell you that I am keeping well and am feeling very much better today. I have only one officer left in my company. One left last night with shell shock. I do not wonder at it, seeing what we have to put up with. I expect to be on leave in a month's time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all. Tomorrow we go into our final big attack. Don't worry if you don't hear for a day or two from me. I shall not have very much opportunity of writing to you for a bit.
The
25th of June 1916 said, "My own darling mother, I am just on the eve of going into the greatest battle the world has ever known. So I am writing this letter and asking that it should be posted to you in the event of my being killed on the battlefield. I never realized how little I have done for you in return for all you have done for me until I joined the army. You have always been a dear, kind mother to me, and what a struggle you have had with us all. Oh, that I could live to repay you. Don't worry too much, will you, mother? Try and forget, and just think that I'm still away. I have had a hard time with it in the army, but you have always done your best, and I have stuck at everything I had to do, and am proud to die a soldier. I ask God at early morning communion to forgive all my sins, and I'm sure He has done. Goodbye, Mother. Goodbye, Father. Reggie, Claude, Stanley, Madge, Winnie, and Beatrice. God bless them all. I will meet every one of them in heaven. Your loving son, Arthur.
My duty is to say a big thank you to everybody involved in organising tonight's wonderful tribute to all those who gave their lives during the Great War. In particular, of course, the Somme, which lasted 141 days. We must remember that you'll have seen the thing saying "live on" in all kinds of places. Live on, live on. That is what we say in the Legion. The bit that goes under the live on is to the memory of the fallen and to the future of the living. And coming here tonight has helped the Legion to honour that particular pledge. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Wonderful.